Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. It started as an ordinary evening, the kind where the sun dipped below the horizon and cast a warm glow through our kitchen window. I was unwinding with a cold beer, my favorite way to transition from work to home life. As I sat at the table, my phone buzzed, breaking the tranquility. It was the monthly bill from our phone provider. I opened it casually, expecting the usual figures, until something caught my eye, an unusual number of calls and texts to the same number from my wife, Sarah. At first, I shrugged it off. Maybe it was a coworker or someone she had met at a networking event. But then I noticed the frequency, dozens of calls and messages, many of them late at night, right around the time she claimed to be busy with work. My heart raced as doubt began to creep in. I had never considered that Sarah could be unfaithful. Our marriage had always felt solid, built on trust and mutual respect. Or so I thought. I leaned back in my chair, the bill slipping from my fingers. I felt like a detective for the first time in my life, not hunting down criminals but investigating the woman I loved. I pulled out my laptop and started searching for the number, hoping for some innocent explanation, but the search yielded nothing. Anxiety coiled in my stomach as I contemplated my next steps. The following day, I decided to confront Sarah. We had dinner plans, a tradition we had kept alive through our busy schedules. As we sat across from each other at our favorite restaurant, I tried to read her expression. She laughed at my jokes, her smile radiant, but in the back of my mind, the nagging thoughts wouldn't let up. I knew I had to gather more evidence. After dinner, I devised a plan. I would watch her, follow her when she left for work. That night, she kissed me goodnight and disappeared into her office, where she usually caught up on her emails. I pretended to be asleep as she slipped away, my heart pounding with anticipation. The next morning, I followed her to her office. I parked a few blocks away, my pulse racing as I waited for her to leave. I kept my distance, and as the hours passed, I felt a mix of hope and dread. What if I was wrong? What if it was all a misunderstanding? Around noon, Sarah's car pulled away from the office, and I decided to follow her. She drove aimlessly for a while before heading toward our neighborhood. My heart raced as I realized she was returning home. I parked a block away, my hands trembling on the steering wheel, and watched her pull into our driveway. I sat in my car, contemplating what to do next. The front door opened, and a tall man stepped out, a friendly wave directed at Sarah as he handed her a small package. My heart sank. I had seen that man before, he was a friend from her yoga class, someone she often mentioned. But seeing them together made my blood run cold. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, watching as they exchanged a few words before Sarah stepped back into the house. Something snapped inside me. I felt the urge to confront her then and there, but I wanted proof. I needed to know for certain what was happening behind those closed doors. I quietly slipped out of my car and crept around the side of the house, my heart pounding in my chest. Through the window, I could see them together in our living room. I froze as horror gripped me. They were laughing, a shared joke between them, and then, oh God, she leaned in closer to him, her hands brushing against his arm. I felt bile rise in my throat as I realized that she was being pleasured by him, the man I had trusted to be just a friend. The world around me faded as I absorbed the sight. My wife, my Sarah, was cheating on me. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. I stumbled back, breathless and sickened. My instincts kicked in, I had to ruin her life just as she had ruined mine. I would not let her get away with this. That evening, when she returned home, I was ready. I confronted her, laying out everything I had seen, every text and call on the phone bill. Her face paled, and for the first time, I saw fear flicker in her eyes. She stammered, trying to weave a web of lies, but I was done listening. I know the truth, Sarah. You're not just busy with work. You've been lying to me, and I won't let this go unanswered. The argument that followed was filled with anger, tears, and accusations. But beneath it all was the realization that our love, our marriage, was nothing more than a facade. I could feel my heart breaking, but I had already made up my mind. As I packed my things that night, I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal that hung heavy in the air. I had once loved her, but now I was filled with a fierce determination to make her understand the consequences of her actions. We were done, and I would never see her again. Thus began my journey of revenge. As the door clicked shut behind me, I felt a strange mix of freedom and heartbreak. The intrigue of our relationship had come to an end, and I was left standing at the crossroads, ready to begin anew. The night air is cool against my skin as I step out of the house, the reality of what just happened weighing heavily on my shoulders. I can't shake the image of Sarah laughing with that man, the betrayal burning in my gut like acid. The engine of my car roars to life, cutting through the silence as I drive aimlessly, my mind racing with thoughts of revenge. I pull into a small diner a few blocks away, a place we used to visit often. As I sit in a booth by the window, I can't help but reflect on how much has changed in just a few short hours. The coffee steams in front of me, untouched as I stare blankly at the bustling street outside. My phone buzzes repeatedly, but I ignore it. It's Sarah trying to reach me, probably filled with apologies and pleas for forgiveness. But I won't give in so easily. She has no idea what's coming. I take a deep breath, trying to calm the storm inside me. The waitress approaches, her cheerful demeanor a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing within me. "Hey there, what can I get you?" she asks with a smile. "Just coffee for now," I reply, my voice flat. She nods, sensing something is off, and walks away. I pull out my phone, finally looking at the missed messages. My heart races as I see the sheer number from Sarah. I read a few, but they only serve to fuel my anger. "Where are you? I'm worried," one message reads. "Please, just come home," another pleads. I know I should respond, but all I feel is a deep-seated desire for retribution. As I sip my coffee, my thoughts drift back to that man. I need to find out more about him, who he is, what he means to Sarah. I pull up social media, quickly searching for his name. The picture on his profile reveals a smug grin, one that makes my blood boil. I see photos of him and Sarah from events, laughing together like old friends. I clench my fists, the urge to confront him growing stronger. After finishing my coffee, I decide to visit him. I punch his address into my phone, and within minutes, I'm driving through the quiet suburban streets toward his house. As I pull up, my heart races with adrenaline. I see his car parked in the driveway, a sleek sedan that seems to gleam under the streetlights. I take a moment to gather myself, then step out of my car, feeling the weight of purpose. I approach the front door, my mind racing with scenarios. Should I knock and confront him? Or should I just barge in? My hand hovers over the doorbell, but instead, I decide to knock firmly. The sound echoes through the quiet night, and I can't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. After a moment, the door swings open, revealing the man himself, a surprised look crossing his face. "Can I help you?" he asks, trying to maintain a facade of calm. "Yeah, I think you can," I reply, my voice steady but low. "I need to talk to you about Sarah." His expression shifts to one of confusion. "Sarah? What about her?" "I know about the two of you," I say, stepping closer. "I saw you today. In my house. With my wife." A flicker of surprise crosses his face, but he quickly masks it with indifference. "Look, man, whatever you think you saw. Don't play dumb with me," I interrupt, my voice rising. "You think I'm going to stand by while you sneak around with her? You're a coward." He chuckles, the sound low and mocking. You really don't know what you're talking about. Sarah and I have a connection that you wouldn't understand. My fists clench at my sides. A connection. Is that what you call it? Because it looks like betrayal to me. I can see the anger rising in him now. You're in no position to talk, buddy. Maybe you should have paid more attention to your marriage instead of snooping around. Don't you dare turn this on me, I shoot back. You're the one who took advantage of her. You think this is some kind of game? Just then, Sarah's voice calls out from inside the house. Is everything okay out there? Both of us freeze, and I can feel my heart race. This is between me and him, Sarah. I shout, my voice echoing in the night. She steps onto the porch, confusion and concern etched on her face. What's going on? Why are you here? I turn to her, rage boiling inside me. I came to confront him about what he's done to us. Her eyes widen in disbelief as she glances back at him. What? This is ridiculous. He's just a friend. Friend? I scoff. Is that what you call it? I've seen the texts, Sarah. I've seen everything. Her face pales as the reality sinks in. You were supposed to trust me. Trust you? I say, my voice shaking with emotion. You've betrayed me in ways I never thought possible. As the argument escalates, I see the tension rising between all of us. It feels like the world is closing in, but I know I can't back down now. This is only the beginning of my plan for revenge. I'll make sure she understands the consequences of her actions. Get out of my life, both of you, I say, taking a step back, my heart pounding. I won't let you ruin me any longer. You'll regret this, I promise. I turn on my heel and storm away, leaving Sarah standing there, a mix of regret and anger on her face. As I drive away, I can't shake the feeling of satisfaction mingled with heartbreak. I know that this is far from over. I will make sure she feels the weight of her betrayal. This is just the beginning, and I will have my retribution. The following days blur together, each moment tinged with a cocktail of anger, betrayal, and determination. I spend my nights tossing and turning, replaying the confrontation with Sarah and the man who dared to cross me. My heart races with thoughts of revenge, a burning fire that propels me forward. I know I need a plan, something that will ensure Sarah understands the depth of her betrayal. Sitting at my kitchen table, I pull out a notepad, determined to map out my next steps. Each stroke of the pen feels cathartic, a way to channel my emotions into something productive. I write down my thoughts, exposing the affair, breaking ties, taking back control. I want to make sure Sarah feels the consequences of her actions. I'm not just going to walk away and let this slide. I take a deep breath and start listing everything I can do to ruin the little fantasy she's created for herself. As the sun rises, I realize I need to gather more information about her and the man. I pull up his social media profiles, studying his posts, his friends, anything that can give me leverage. I scroll through endless pictures of him and Sarah, their smiles taunting me. Anger surges within me as I see how comfortable they were together. Then I notice something. In one of the comments on his latest photo, a woman writes, "Can't wait to see you at the party. Bring Sarah." My heart skips a beat. A party. If they're going to be there together, it's the perfect opportunity for me to confront them again, and this time, with witnesses. I grab my phone and text a couple of close friends, letting them know I'm throwing a small get-together this weekend. I need everyone I can get, I type. It's going to be wild. As the days pass, I prepare for the party, buying snacks and drinks, creating an atmosphere that feels festive but with an underlying tension. I invite Sarah, trying to maintain a facade of normalcy while I set my plan into motion. Saturday night arrives, and I'm a bundle of nerves as I set up the living room. The doorbell rings, and my friends pour in, laughter and chatter filling the air. I play the gracious host, greeting everyone while keeping an eye on the door, waiting for her to arrive. Finally, Sarah walks in, her eyes lighting up as she sees the gathering. "Wow, this looks amazing," she exclaims, completely oblivious to the storm brewing beneath the surface. "Thanks," I reply, forcing a smile. "It's going to be a great night." As the evening progresses, I keep the conversation light, but my thoughts are consumed with the impending confrontation. I can feel the tension in my chest building as I spot him arriving, dressed casually but exuding an air of arrogance that makes my blood boil. "Hey, you made it." Sarah beams, moving towards him as if he's the only person in the room. I watch their interaction closely, my fists clenching as they exchange pleasantries. The time is drawing near. I wait until they're comfortable, laughing and drinking, before I decide to intervene. I take a deep breath, my heart pounding in my ears, and walk over to them. "Sarah, can I borrow you for a moment?" She looks up, surprise etched on her face. Sure. What's up?" "Just need to talk," I say, gesturing for her to follow me into the kitchen. The atmosphere in the room shifts, and I can sense the tension as her friend looks confused. As soon as we're in the kitchen, I turn to her, keeping my voice low but firm. "We need to talk about this," I say, motioning toward the living room where the man is now chatting with my friends. "You know he's not just a friend, right?" Her face flushes with embarrassment. "What are you talking about?" "He's just." "Just what?" "Someone you can sneak around with while pretending to be my wife." I shoot back, my patience wearing thin. "I saw you with him, Sarah. I know everything." Her eyes widen, and I can see the panic rising within her. "I can explain." "It's not what you think." "Not what I think." I laugh bitterly. "You've been lying to me. And you think I'm just going to let it slide?" Just then, a loud laugh erupts from the living room, drawing our attention. I see him leaning against the wall, looking completely at ease, completely unaware of the storm brewing just a few feet away. I grab her arm, pulling her closer, and lower my voice. "This isn't over. You're going to face the consequences tonight. Please, don't do anything crazy," she pleads, desperation in her eyes. "But I can't stop now. You made your choice, Sarah. Now it's time for you to deal with it." With that, I step back into the living room, the atmosphere electric with tension. I clear my throat, drawing everyone's attention. "Hey everyone, I've got something to say." The laughter fades, and all eyes turn to me, confusion etched on their faces. "I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for coming. It's great to see so many friends here," I say, my voice steady. "But I also need to address something that's been bothering me." Sarah's face goes pale, her mouth opening to protest, but I don't give her the chance. "I think it's important that we all understand what kind of people we're dealing with." "Sarah, why don't you come up here?" Gasps echo around the room, and Sarah looks like she wants to shrink away. I can see the realization dawning on her face as she understands my intentions. But I won't stop. Sarah has been keeping some secrets, and I think it's time everyone knows the truth. She's been having an affair, I declare, the words echoing like a death knell. Gasps ripple through the room, and I see disbelief in the faces of my friends. "What? That's not true." Sarah protests, her voice shaking. I turn to her, fury burning in my chest. "You think they're going to take your side? You've betrayed me, and now everyone knows." The tension is palpable, the weight of the revelation settling over us like a shroud. I can see the man's face darkening, his confidence faltering as he realizes the ramifications of my words. "Everyone, I think we should give Sarah a moment to explain herself," I say, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "But trust me, it's not going to be pretty." As the shocked silence envelopes the room, I step back, my heart pounding with a mixture of exhilaration and dread. This is my moment of retribution, and I can't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. As the chaos begins to unfold, I know that this is only the beginning. Sarah will have to face the consequences of her actions, and I won't rest until she understands the gravity of her betrayal. The intrigue of our shattered relationship lingers in the air, promising more confrontation and revenge in the chapters to come. The atmosphere in the living room is thick with tension, the air charged with disbelief and anger as my revelation sinks in. I watch Sarah's face morph from shock to fury, and I can see the man's bravado crumbling as he realizes the game is up. "You're making a huge mistake," he snaps, trying to regain his composure. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, I know exactly what I'm talking about," I reply, my voice steady as I step closer, my eyes locked onto his. "You think you can waltz into my life, into my marriage, and just walk away unscathed? Not a chance." Sarah, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment and rage, steps forward. "You don't have to do this. This isn't the way to handle things," she pleads, desperation creeping into her tone. I shake my head, feeling a mix of satisfaction and sorrow. "You've betrayed my trust in the most unforgivable way, Sarah. You think you can manipulate your way out of this? That I'm just going to let you both walk away?" The room is silent, every pair of eyes focused on us. I can feel the weight of judgment in the air, and I know this is the moment I've been waiting for. "I think it's time you both learned that actions have consequences," I declare, a fierce resolve filling my voice. I turn to my friends, who stand by, stunned into silence. "You all deserve to know the truth about who you're dealing with. Sarah has been living a lie, and it's time for her to face it." In that moment, something inside me shifts. This isn't just about revenge anymore, it's about reclaiming my life and standing up for myself. "I will make sure everyone knows exactly who you are," I continue, my voice rising. "You think you can just take what's mine without a second thought? Not anymore." With that, I pull out my phone and start recording. "Let's capture this moment for posterity," I say, my tone dripping with sarcasm. I turn the camera toward them, capturing their expressions of shock and fear. This is going to be a nice little reminder for everyone. "What the hell are you doing?" Sarah demands, her voice sharp. "You're humiliating me." "Humiliating you?" I laugh bitterly. "You brought this on yourself. You wanted to play games, and now you'll face the consequences." I can see the panic rising in Sarah's eyes, and I know I need to strike a deeper chord. "Do you think your friends will forgive you when they find out? When they see you for who you really are? A liar and a cheat?" Suddenly, the man steps forward, trying to assert himself. "This is ridiculous. You're acting like a child. We can talk about this like adults." I scoff, the derision spilling out. "Talk? You think I want to talk? You think I care about what you have to say? You're nothing but a coward hiding behind my wife's skirts." At that, Sarah's facade crumbles. "How could you do this to us? I thought we had something real," she cries, her voice trembling. "Real?" I bark. "You think your lies and deceit are real? You've shattered everything we built. I will make sure you feel the consequences of your actions." As I continue recording, I feel a rush of adrenaline. I'm not just exposing them, I'm reclaiming my power. I'm done being the victim in this twisted tale of betrayal. "You're going to regret ever crossing me," I warn, my voice low and dangerous. Sarah's anger turns to desperation. "Please, don't do this. I'll do anything." "Anything?" I mock, narrowing my eyes. "You think you can fix this? You can't. It's too late for that." Suddenly, I snap the camera off, and the atmosphere shifts once more. The tension is palpable, thick with unspoken words and emotions. You want to know what's next? I ask, my voice dropping to a whisper. You're going to lose everything. What do you mean? The man asks, a hint of fear creeping into his voice. I step closer, my presence overwhelming. I've already sent the recording to everyone you know, friends, family, even your coworkers. Everyone will see what a coward you are, hiding behind my wife while you pretend to be a good guy. No. Sarah gasps, her face pale as realization hits her. You wouldn't. I smile coldly. Oh, but I would. You made your choice, and now you'll live with it. The humiliation will haunt you both, and I won't stop until everyone knows the truth. In a final act of defiance, I turn away from them, letting the weight of my words linger in the air. As I walk toward the door, I hear Sarah call after me, her voice filled with regret. Please, don't leave like this. We can work it out. But I don't look back. I step out into the night, the door slamming behind me, cutting off the remnants of our shattered life together. I've taken back control, and with each step away, I can feel the burden of betrayal lifting from my shoulders. As I drive away, the adrenaline fades, replaced by a sense of clarity. I'm free now, and I refuse to let their lies define me. The deception that once threatened to consume me is now a distant memory, replaced by a newfound resolve. I know I'll never see them again. The hatred that has blossomed in my heart for their betrayal will remain, a scar that will remind me of this moment. As I speed down the darkened road, I realize that this is the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. In this journey of betrayal and retribution, I've emerged stronger, ready to face whatever comes next. The intrigue of our shattered relationship lingers in the air, but I have taken my stand, and I will not be a victim any longer.